body's not against you. Maybe the pain you're feeling is your body trying to tell you something. You know, your body's symptoms are not purely physical. They always have an emotional and energetic component as well. If you'd like to learn how to assist your body's natural healing process by clearing blocked energies and understanding your body's messages, I invite you to enroll in my step-by-step course, Talk to Your Cells, because you are so much more powerful than you know.
Relief for PTSD, anxiety, pain, insomnia, and many other ailments. Introducing Vibe, the world's only pocket PEMF device. You place in your pocket while cooking, cleaning, relaxing, watching TV, sitting at your computer, reading, or walking. Self-contained standalone device. No drugs. No other phone or Bluetooth connections required. No monthly subscription fees. No apps to download. No bozone. The future of medicine is in the frequencies. Come join the revolution.
Well, welcome everybody and welcome back to Mindful Mondays. You know, I'm always letting everybody know how we are all on a journey, and sometimes those journeys have challenges. And I will tell you, I have definitely been on a journey with challenges over the last couple of weeks. Started with Veterans Day when I decided to miss a step stepping out of the U-Haul, and I fractured my wrist on both sides. But thanks to those connections and the wonderful collaborations and stuff, that I've had lots of people that just jumped out and were there to help and support. So I definitely want to thank everyone who reached out. And as they say, you know, the show must go on. So thank you for joining us today. Now, I hope you are ready to break free from trauma and start your transformation, because our guest today is a true trailblazer, skillfully weaving together the science of hypnotherapy with the ancient art of energy healing. I mean, imagine peeling back the layers of trauma and emotional wounds while rediscovering the vibrant, powerful woman within you. Her unique approach creates a safe, sacred space where healing isn't just about changing your mindset or shifting your energy. It's about addressing the root of your pain and restoring harmony across all aspects of your being. Now, whether you're battling self-doubt, burnout, or feeling disconnected from your true self, Sabrina has the insights and tools to guide you toward lasting freedom. So please help me welcome Sabrina Johnson. Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I always hate doing rebroadcast, but we've had a lot of good speakers. So I was like, you know what, time to do that. But we are back at it. So can you share with us kind of like what initially drew you to your spiritual path, the path of spiritual mentoring and healing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually first started out in sales, and I was a sales leader for about 25 years. And I was also in program management where I led customer experience. And, you know, during this time, I had gotten really ill. I was battling a couple forms of cancer. And I also have a degenerative disc disease. But then on top of that, it was ailment after ailment after ailment. So after years of battling cancer, chronic pain, surgeries, treatments, that really just gave me the choice to either break open or basically break down. And so rather than breaking down, I chose to break open through healing. And where I first started was my mindset, because I got to thinking, it's like, well, what is keeping me trapped in this kind of victim mode that I was in? And so that's what first led me into hypnotherapy. And then from there, it guided me to learning more about my energy and the gifts that I had been carrying, but that I had neglected over the years, because I kept them hidden just because of the societal programming and, just being afraid of that judgment. So through spiritual exploration, breathing exercises, and energy medicine, that's how I began to recover. And that's when healing started leading me to helping others through healing and their journeys.
Yeah, there's already a lot to unpack in there. I mean, for one, I love what you said about, the mindset and stuff, because you can sit there and be a victim, right? Or wallow in it, or you can change to do different. And breathing, I will tell you, I know is definitely important, because like when I fell, my friends were going to help pick me up. I'm like, nope, just leave me a couple minutes. I need to do some deep belly breaths because I'm really nauseous right now from the pain. But when you do that, it just helps calm and relax all of that. And then again, with mindset, it's like, okay, I'm dominantly right-handed. So, and as the doctor said, not today, you're not. It's like,
Right.
you have to go left-handed. And so that's what I've been doing, yes, I'm glad that I have people to help me, with things, but it's just like, I can do this. I figure, other people lose limbs, other things they adapt, got to be a way to do this. So, I don't know about you. I write affirmations kind of down every day. I do this every day. And if I miss a day, I start all over at day one. I do like a 90-day challenge. And I wasn't about to let this interfere. So I tried writing left-handed. It works.
Yay.
It does
Learning
work.
new gifts.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that kind of somewhat similar? I mean, kind of like what you do with mindset, or how did you get through that? Look at that. What kind of mindset did you use to help push that? Because battling cancer is way bigger than fracturing a wrist.
Yeah.
That's pretty traumatizing. And I know a lot of people that have, been diagnosed with that or said that they have that. And I think it really does come down to mindset.
Yeah. I mean, when you're sick for so long and you really don't know like what's going to happen through this, if you're going to recover or if something worse is going to happen, you really want to nail down like what it is that you want to do with the rest of the time that you do have. And I knew that I did not want to be stuck in sales. I knew that I wanted to find something that I could consider my own, that I was really passionate about again, because I had lost my passion. And so that's really what led me into doing what I'm doing. I had to choose, and it's like you either stay tired or you do something different. And I would just had hit that ceiling of where I need to do something different.
Yeah. And you also mentioned some of the gifts and stuff that you knew you had. And as I understand it, a lot of us have those gifts and abilities, but since it's not taught or it's ridiculed or looked down at, in society, a lot of us don't talk about it. So what was that like for you?
So, like anybody first kind of coming out of the closet, you're a little bit shy and hesitant at first. It's like, is this something that I have in my head, or, is this something that I'm really experiencing? So what I did was I took some really close friends of mine and I was like, would you just allow me to practice on you? Because I really just need to know for myself if this is something that you're experiencing that I'm picking up on, or if my head is just making it up. And there had been instances throughout my life where something would just kind of hit me and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my friend about this right away, because this is something bad that I am hearing that is going to happen to my friend. And it was like I had learned about my friend's car accident. It just popped in my head. And I was like, she's going on this trip tomorrow. So I really have to tell her that this is what she can expect from it. And I gave her like even the exact route that she was going to be traveling and when this would happen. I saw the time. And so I texted her and she honestly, she didn't believe me. She's like, oh, I'm sure this was just a dream, or, this can't be right. Well, sure enough, the next day she called me. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And she's like, I should have listened. I just got in an accident and now I need a ride, because she was still like 6 hours from her destination. And so
Wow.
that was one thing that was just like, it slapped me in the face. I'm like, okay, so this is real.
That's a big thing too. That's a big thing too. And I'm sure that probably kind of surprised your friend as well.
Yeah, it blew her mind. She's like, how did you even know? It's like, I just knew.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of got to be difficult, right? Because it's like you want to let them know that something's going on, but don't necessarily want to make them terrified, but
Yeah.
warn them that something's happened, and then, of course, like you said, you're risking being judged or ridiculed for it.
But it was the choice of, I tell her or I don't. And if I don't tell her, this is going to happen regardless, but she should know in case she does want to avoid that route.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Now she
incredible.
listens to me.
And so did you just kept having more experiences to that? And
Yeah, as I opened up a bit more and I was willing to trust myself and what I was actually picking up, then I was able to expand from there, and I've been getting more and more accurate since. And it's funny, once you tap into one thing, that is just one thing that my intuition was telling me about. And I tapped into that, and then I started actually feeling more of my energy as it was flowing through my body. Like, I can feel it radiate through my body. And I see spirits now. So
wow.
I see spirits, I hear spirits, I feel them. And then I also have that intuitive insight. So, yeah.
So just kind of your whole new world just kind of opened up for you.
Yeah. And when you accept it and you're willing to fully believe, it really expands from there. Like, you can grow quickly. It just all has to do with what you believe.
I was gonna say it comes down to belief and not what you can prove, because you're not looking to prove anything. It's just a belief and a feeling, and
Exactly.
yeah, it's always kind of hard. So how did that tie in with the hypnotherapy?
So, with hypnotherapy, interestingly enough, I had started hypnotherapy first. So, I've been doing hypnosis for about 5 years. And this was, again, behind the scenes. It was on the side of my sales career.
Mm-hmm.
So, it, during that time period, it was like I still had this cushion where I was still making money, but I was still able to go to school and I was able to improve my skills. And so I was blending that intuitive insight that I had into my trauma informed methodologies that I use through clinical hypnotherapy, which are RTT, NLP, and QHHT. RTT is rapid transformational therapy, NLP is neuro linguistic programming, and QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis. Or, yeah.
Hypnotherapy. Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah.
So I combine all of my intuitiveness into the hypnotherapy that I do, just picking up on the energy of the person I'm working with. I oftentimes will get intuitive cues before I even meet with my client in terms of some of the things that they've experienced. And that really truly helps, because when you're seeing somebody that may not be completely ready to open up about an experience that they've had, that helps me to guide them, to let them know that, hey, I'm here from you. I've actually been through a similar experience, so I'll share that experience with them openly. And usually that just allows them to get comfortable in knowing that, okay, this is something she's been through. She's not going to judge me for it.
Right. And I think that's a big part too, is, when you're worried about being judged or are you saying the right thing? I think that's what a lot of people worry about, because we are a very judgmental society, which is why I like creating the judgment free spaces, right? Because we're all entitled to those perceptions, but it's really freeing when you can get help from somebody that's not going to judge you.
Exactly. And so from there, that's when I combined the Reiki and the breath work, because breath work is another thing that helps to restore safety. And it stems from in the nervous system, how you would typically define the fight, flight, or freeze reactions to anything that you're fearful of. And then through mediumship and tarot, that's where I offer the soul level guidance. So it's really an integration of mind, body, and soul.
Nice. Yeah. And when, you say breathing, and I've met a few people, it's like people figure breathe in and out, but there really are many different ways to breathe? Do you have a particular method or way that works best, or
Yeah.
are you able to tailor it to depending on who you're working with?
I do tailor it depending on who I'm working with. But with hypnotherapy, I do often start with a specific breathing exercise where you're taking a deep breath in through your nose, you're holding it for 7 seconds, and then you're releasing all the way out your mouth, like in a sigh, an aggressive sigh. And what this does is it gets to your nervous system. It trains your nervous system that you are safe. That is what deep breathing does. So that is the main one that I start with. And we do this 3 times before I even induce a trance state, just to get you nice and relaxed. And depending on who you are, if you're somebody that has been traditionally harder to hypnotize or harder to get into a trance state, then I will do some more of that deep breathing, but it's usually a varied exercise at that point that we'll do another 2 to 3 times before I even start that hypnosis journey.
Maybe you can go a little deeper as far as what the trans state is and what that means, and is it different for each person?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. And it is quite a bit different for each person, just depending again on how accepting they are, what their belief system is, and if there's somebody that has a neurodivergent disorder or is overthinking or has an overactive brain like ADHD. So it does really depend on how you personally believe that this is going to work for you, combined with your neurological activity. So what a trance state is it is basically, when you're thinking of trance, you're thinking of that dream state, and that's exactly what it is. You could be so in I don't want to use trance again. But you could be so encapsulated with something that you're watching on TV, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that you're just really in the moment and you don't hear anything else around you because you're so focused on what is going on. That is that state that you're entered into, which is that trance state. So it's that state that is right before your deep sleep state.
Okay. Yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, apparently I was in one of those when I was younger because my mom, I was engrossed in whatever I was watching on TV, and my mom was saying something to me, and I was answering, and she knew darn well that I wasn't listening. She was actually able to cross across the TV. We used to have this like little stuffed baby alligator, and grab that thing off there, and I never saw her go across until the alligator was like right in my face, and I just jumped up screaming. She's like, "Oh, now that I've got your attention," and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But I was awake the whole time. But obviously, I had to have been in a trance state because I didn't, my unconscious or whatever was answering her, but I wasn't really paying attention. But I
Yeah.
wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, it's so funny how we do that because the subconscious is actually what you operate on 95% of the time during the day. It is that autopilot. That's what I call it. When you're conscious, you're really thinking about the response that you have or the action that you have or going to take towards whatever, challenge you're presented with or person that you're speaking with. And it is right in between that beta and theta brain state. There's different brain waves that you'll enter into throughout the day. And beta is getting into that trance state.
Yeah. So since you've learned the Reiki, the hip and the hypnosis and the spiritual, that did a lot of that help you heal yourself?
Yeah, it really, really did. Because there was a point at which traditional medicine stopped helping me. And I kind of hit an emotional rock bottom. And I realized that I had the option to go deeper within myself for me to personally discover, what are these patterns that I have that have been reoccurring throughout my life. And because of this is actually what I tell my clients to do when I first connect with them. If you're having trouble remembering some of the lessons that you may have learned in life, or some of the experiences that you've had that were more traumatic for you. I have them go back and view their life as a series of chapters in a book. So from age, from the time that you were born up until 5, what is the soonest memory you can remember, and how do you remember it? And so on. And so that's what I actually did. I dug deep in and I labeled all my chapters and what my experiences were and where are my lessons. And that showed me some of the patterns that I had that were deeply ingrained that I wouldn't have picked up on otherwise.
Wow. No, that's amazing too. And the fact that you did that, I'd have to ask then, are you putting together a book?
I am, yes.
Okay. And I was going to say, that just kind of sounds like a book in the making, especially because I know there's many that, are battling cancer or different things. And either they don't want, either they don't want what we have to offer in Western medicine, or it's not working. Western medicine's not working for them, and they're looking for other alternatives.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I can personally attest to your energy and your belief system as being two of the main factors that will play into the diseases or the body's diseased state that you're in. Because when you start to view, these words are here for a reason. Your body is at dis-ease when you have some sort of disease in your body or ailment. And it has to do with the trauma that you've experienced and where in your body you're storing that experience. And a lot of people will internalize it if they're not speaking out. They could end up with throat cancer. They could end up with heart issues. They could end up with severe intestinal issues or gallbladder disease. There's so many places in the body that this stress and this trauma stays trapped. And when you start to release those blocks and release the energy, just letting that energy circulate from these traumatic areas or from these traumatic experiences in the areas that it's trapped, that's when you can start to heal. But you have to believe it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I love, because that's something you and I both do is help people identify the root cause. It's not about just throwing medications and slamming the Band-Aid on it, because it really doesn't fix anything. If you haven't dealt with what's going on, then you're almost guaranteed it's going to pop itself. It's going to keep popping back up, or you're going to keep struggling with it.
Exactly. It ends up being one of those temporary solutions.
Yeah. So are you cancer-free now then?
I am, yes.
Wonderful.
It's been 7 years now, actually.
7 years?
Yeah.
That is wonderful. So you blend clinical training with intuitive mastery in a truly, it's really truly is a unique way. How do you see those two elements complementing each other in your practice?
Oh, I'm glad that you're asking this. It is complementing. It's complementing so well. Like, I have so many clients that are being rewarded with finally feeling peaceful and free and excited to live life. Because when you can dig deep into the mind and you can pull out some of those things that you don't even know are holding you back, and we can get that reprogrammed, that in itself is a burden lifted. But then when you can really uncover any gifts that you have, like, I'm working with a client who didn't even know that she was a healer, and she is a healer. She is a natural healer. She can step into a room and grace people with her presence, and she has this just automatic calming effect to her. Like, people in stress will just be like, wow, I feel so comfortable around you. And so she's learning now with me how to work with her energy and how to expand her gifts.
Wow.
So it's paid off in that way, but in so many other ways too.
Well, and it's an incredible world, right? Because there's a lot of times we go and we may call it something else, but there's times where maybe you've gone to a function or something and you just can't wait to leave. It's really your intuition kind of telling you that, yeah, you don't need to be here right now. And then there's other places where you may not have been feeling the greatest, but when you go there, all of a sudden you're just like so glad you went, and it releases, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love that. So I know many people are struggle with trauma, emotional wounds, and trauma is different for everyone. It doesn't always have to be massive, but it's what's
Yeah.
trauma to you. What are some of the common patterns that you've noticed with women that you work with, and how do they address these in your sessions?
So some of the main um, things that I pick up on, and I'm sorry, I just this retrograde is causing brain fog for everybody. So just have to throw that out there.
That's okay. Between
Oh,
that and computer issues, you never know.
yes, seriously. But a lot of the commonalities that I see in between the clients that I work with are that they come to me and they have low confidence, or they feel stuck, like they just don't know how to get out of the position that they're in. And a lot of them are working career positions that they've held on to because it's giving them that sense of financial security, but they absolutely dislike what they're doing and would really rather start their own business, or be able to make their own schedule, or just even free up a little bit more time to spend with family. So I've helped people to uncover, what are their true passions, and what are the things that are going to light them up every single day, that's not going to feel like you're working for just to be able to save up enough to retire. It's really about giving people that freedom to work to live, rather than living to work.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely. Yeah, you and I use a lot of the same language there, because it's like, yep, you definitely, and you can tell when, you're obviously passionate about what you do, and you can tell because you light up when you talk about what you do, and that's, to me, that's the way it should be. So I love that.
yeah. And so I don't know if I really explained some of those patterns well, but it's people with low confidence, people feeling stuck in their career or personal life, and then also people that are coming to me that are just completely stressed and burnt out because they have this belief that the only way that they can make it financially is to work as hard as possible, which means taking on as much as they possibly can until they just can't any longer.
Yeah, and then you hit the burnout. So maybe you can describe to us another moment. I know you told us about the one client, but maybe was there another moment where you witnessed a profound transformation in one of your clients?
Oh
And
yeah.
what do you think contributed? What elements do you think contributed to that shift?
I've had several, but the ones that really stick out are the ones that are just like baffled that they didn't know this or see this sooner. And so one of those aha moments was I was working with a fitness professional, and there was many things that she had experienced that were traumatic to her in her childhood, but she had been through counseling and they had worked on this several times. So she's like, it can't possibly be holding me back. And so I walked her through just a few questions to make her think a little bit deeply about what are her behaviors that she has right now and what's holding her back, compared to what this traumatic experience could potentially cause. And so after she was able to look at, okay, yeah, she's right. I did have trauma from childhood. I was always striving for this perfection, and even though I went through counseling, that perfection goal was something that I was still subconsciously aiming for. Even though I had talked to somebody, I'd forgiven my inner child and I thought I had moved forward. So it's like people who have been through counseling, you can uncover a lot of those traumatic experiences. But what happens often in counselors, and I'm saying this, discern this for yourself, because I am not saying this to go against any medical professional opinion, but oftentimes you'll go into a counseling session, you'll talk about a traumatic experience. It'll only be enough time to get you fully into that traumatic experience. And then you will leave that office still in this trance state, reliving that traumatic experience and the emotions of it.
Yeah.
And so she was getting stuck still in that traumatic experience and the emotions of this experience every time she left counseling. And so for her, it was exciting for us to still be able to uncover that, and for her to recognize, even though I worked on this and we had talked through this and I had forgiven so many things, it was still affecting her.
Wow. Yeah, and that's a very good point, because I spoke to someone before where I used to always think it was venting. It was the way I vented, to talk about, but it really wasn't. Really, I was just reliving what was traumatizing to me, and all it does is just keep bringing up the whole bad negativity. But I like that you are able to work with them and help them just to release, because it does need to be released, because as you said before, it will cause problems,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And it needs released in so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah,
That mental, that physical. Yeah.
yeah, definitely different ways. So, how does the process of Reiki support energetic clearing for your clients?
So with Reiki, I am able to intuitively pick up on any blocks that you have within your body. I can feel those blocks in the areas that those blocks are sitting. And then we can actually release those blocks by moving the energy and allowing it to flow out of you, so that we're completely aligning your chakras. And that does so many things. It brings balance to your body, but then it also allows you to I've had people that have actually moved better after clearing up blocks, and think better after clearing up blocks. So it's another thing that just affects a lot.
Yeah, it's got to be incredible to see the different, experiences. It's always for me. It's always fun to be able to see someone just like a weight's lifted, and just live a healthier, happier self. But so you can do that online, right? You don't have to
Oh,
be. Yeah.
yep, you can do that in person. You can do it online. I've even been able, I wouldn't recommend it, but I have been able to actually get through to somebody who was just on the telephone, because that was the only time that she had and she couldn't get on her computer. So I was like, we're going to try this and we're going to make sure that this is done effectively enough for it to help, but you are going to have to come back and we're going to have to do that video session too. So you can still reach somebody just through that acceptance of energy. So I can transfer it even on a phone conversation to you.
Wow. That's incredible. Because I was going to say most of it I thought was either face to face, or at least by seeing them. Uh, yeah.
That's what a lot of people believe, but it's really accepting the gift of energy that somebody is giving you to allow it to heal. So it has to do with your intention, and it has to do with your acceptance and, again, belief.
And belief, yeah, yeah. So the hypnotherapy, then you can also do that online?
Absolutely. Yep. Online, over the phone. And I apologize if there's any background noise.
No, you're okay. So, what are some of the bigger changes that you've noticed with people during or after a session?
Oh, so I've had people that have come in and they have felt like a complete and total wreck, where they're stressed out, they're really anxious, they're coming to me and they're emotional because it's been a hard day. And so imagine that state where they're just frazzled and out of sorts. And then they leave finally feeling like at peace and relieved. And seeing that transformation alone is just, it is so rewarding and so gratifying.
Yeah, I would imagine.
To leave
So
with a smile instead of a frown.
that's always a good thing. That is always a good thing. So, in your experience, though, as a hypnotherapist, what are some of the common limiting beliefs that people hold, and how can releasing them impact one's life? Because we know a lot of the things that they say about hypnotherapy. What are some of the limiting beliefs that you've come across?
You know, so with limiting beliefs, it really does truly have to do with what you see, how you think, and how you feel about specific things. But some main ones I could tell are you is executive presence. That is actually a limiting belief because so many leaders, professionals come to me saying, I want to improve my executive presence. And I challenge them to define, what does executive presence mean to you? Because it is something different to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing that I try to do is to have them give me that definition of what it is that it means. So executive presence is one, confidence is another. We have people that say that you can fake it till you make it. So they'll come in faking that confidence, but there's so many micro actions and behaviors that you do with your mind and body that is easy to pick up on whether that confidence statement is true or not. So, yeah, confidence is a huge one. That's two of them. They are honestly the most common. Burnout and just working too hard would have to be the third that
Yeah.
limits us. People actually don't believe that they're at the stage of burnout until we help to define that and show them that this is what it means to be burnout. This is where you are. And that's a limit.
That is. Yeah, that definitely is. So, as a spiritual mentor, I know you help women connect with their inner guidance and align with their highest soul's highest path. How do you do that?
Yeah. So, first, I find out where exactly it is that they are. What has been your experience? Because I've worked with a lot of women who have been abused by individuals who are narcissists and individuals that, quite frankly, are physical abusers. And they come to me just at their lowest. They're beat up. They have absolutely no confidence. Because of that, they've lost their drive completely. Because it's hard to have a drive to do something when you don't feel like you're worth anything.
Yeah.
And so I start by working with them to uncover those limiting beliefs again, because confidence is a big one. And also the trauma that they have endured. If it's physical abuse, I lead them through hypnotherapy in a way that allows them to experience the abuse as an outsider. So they're not being thrown into the emotion of it. They're only being thrown into it as an observer, so that they're not re-experiencing that trauma and they can finally forgive and finally heal from that point instead of feeling so guilty.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible because that's the last thing you want them to do is have to relive it. But yeah, I love that. There's a lot of incredible work that you're doing. But besides that, you have also created a wonderful community called the Soul Sync Spiritual Collective. What
Yeah.
inspired you to build that community, and what can members expect from participating in it?
So the biggest thing, honestly, that inspired me to create the Soul Sync community is because in my work with people every single day, I have to hold space for them just to create that emotional and energetic safety through my presence and just realigning them from that emotional or physical pain that they've experienced. And I wanted to let everybody know who is going through any kind of spiritual experience, whether that's a spiritual awakening or there's somebody that is just discovering their gifts and getting into what it means to work with them, that you have a space that is safe for you to come to open up, and I will give you grounded support.
Mm. So you help them with that as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I know you and I talked about it a little bit before. And by the way, we do have your YouTube link on there because you have your wonderful YouTube channel at Soul Sync Collective One. How do people know that they have some of those gifts? What are some of the signs or things that they can see that maybe that they have those gifts?
So a lot of people that are healers, they will physically feel that kind of static energetic charge. So if you rub your hands together like this and
Mm-hmm.
you do this and you feel some static energy there, maybe a little bit of resistance, and you can focus on that and actually expand it and see that as a huge energy ball, chances are you're going to be able to do Reiki pretty soon. It's about discovering how much of that energetic gift you can transfer. So that's one for people that can use their energy in good ways. Another thing that you would experience with your energy is you will feel it flowing from your feet all the way up to your head. If you just sit there, close your eyes, and imagine pulling life source energy from the ground, from the universe, funneling it up in through your feet and then your calves, knees, thighs, hips, stomach, back, chest, neck, and head. You will feel it flowing all the way up. So that's one for people with energy. For somebody who is intuitive, you will just know things. You will have visions that come to you in your mind's eye. You will even hear different things with those gifts. You may even think that you saw something out of the corner of your eye. Don't let your brain trick you into believing that it is just a figment of your imagination. If you've seen things from the corner of your eyes a few times, you've heard things a few times, and you've seen things in your mind's eye, chances are it's because you have a gift. And then a third one would be you may experience very vivid, very realistic dreams. And typically, these are our spirit guides that are coming to us to share messages in our dreams. Or you could be even astro traveling, where in your dreams, you're physically traveling out of your body to experience other realms and other dimensions. So these are just a few.
Yeah, I've met some people that do that, and I told them, I said, really, it is incredible because we might think we're all that here on Earth, but really, when you get into the quantum field, the solar system, whatever you want to call it, we're a speck in the universe. Is really all we are. Yeah,
And everything is energy. Everything.
energy, vibration, frequency. There's
Yeah.
no block in it. Yeah, yeah. I love that. So do you help work with them then, or
Oh,
and you can guide them with with that as well?
absolutely. I do spiritual mentorship at for whatever level that you're at. I teach people initially through level 1 and level 2 Reiki. I mentor you through what it is that you're experiencing. And that's outside of hypnotherapy and trauma. That is just getting you in touch with your spiritual gifts. Um, I do healing, I do psychic mediumship and channeling. There's so many different things that I do. So if anybody's got questions, please just reach out.
Yeah, I was gonna say because there's a lot more of us out there, and a lot more out there than you may realize. So if
Yeah.
you're having any of those, I would definitely recommend that you reach out to Sabrina because you're not alone. I know I've met several ever since I've been doing this TV show and meeting different people across the world. There are many out there. So yeah, and I always say we can do more together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to ask if you mind that I share one thing about healing. Um,
You go right ahead.
Thank you. So, a lot of us, when we think about healing, we think about fixing something that is broken. The first thing that I want everybody on this planet to know is that you are not broken. You have signed a soul contract to go through the experiences that you've had in your life that is going to teach you the lessons that you need to know to be able to use your gifts for the greater good. So you are gifted. Don't doubt yourself. Be confident in that. And when you can get beneath all of the noise, all of the pain, all of the societal programming, you will find that this work honors you and it honors humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that kind of leads me to my other question that I had for you, because I was going to ask you, what advice would you offer to someone who feels stuck in cycles of self-doubt or disconnection, but is unsure where to start their healing journey?
Oh, that's a really great question. So, let's see. First of all, I would say that you don't have to believe that any one thing is going to help you or to heal you. You don't. I work with many skeptics. Even if you have a little bit of lingering doubt and you're just kind of curious, reach out to somebody. People like me offer free consultations. We're willing to talk with you and walk you through anything. So booking a session would be the first place I would say to start is book a session. Find out what that psychic or gifted medium can tell you about yourself, about what your gifts can bring to others, and kind of help you get excited so that your soul can align with the purpose or mission that you have.
Yeah, and that's another thing, because as I say, a few of the path you have chosen is probably kind of a tough one. It's a
Yeah,
very much needed one, but I would say it's a tough one just because of what we're subjected to in the media and the way it gets ridiculed or projected. It's not like that at all.
exactly.
Yeah,
And anybody who is ready can shift from that survival to soul alignment, for lack of a better way to say it.
yeah. So, what can they expect on your YouTube channel?
Oh, you can expect to get free readings. I have hypnotherapy meditations that combine Reiki in those meditations. Let's see. We do a podcast where you can learn about other people who have these gifts and some of the paranormal experiences they've had. Um, yeah, those are three places to
So, would you
start
like
off
to
my
share with everybody what the name of your podcast is and where they can find it?
podcast. Yes. So the Soul Sync Collective is the channel, and then my podcast is Night Terrors and Other Tales.
Nice. So, and you cover pretty much everything on there as well, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I have an upcoming energy masterclass. So anybody that wants to dig into learning about their energy and how they can improve it, how they can grow their frequency, that's a class for you.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. I love it. I always love learning about all this because there's just so much out there. And like you said, if you're open to it and you're not trying to prove everything, but yeah, what incredible experience. So, your friends now, the ones that you originally texted, do they just know? Do they come to you, or do they just know when they tell you when you tell them something that they just need to go with it?
Both.
Both.
So they usually come to me because they want to know what to expect, especially if they have anything coming up. Like my one friend is a speaker and she wants to know that she's not going to trip on stage or make a fool out of herself. And so I'll tell her what to expect for the outcome of her speaking events. And then of course she also comes to me just to hear a little bit more about her future and what she can expect in the coming years. So yeah.
Wow. Oh, so you can do that for people as well.
Yeah.
Do you do the past life regressions as well?
Yes, I can. There's
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say there's not much that you can't do. Um, and you said so LinkedIn is pretty much one of the best places for people to connect with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. We have about 5 minutes left. What else do you want to make sure the audience knows so they can connect with you?
Absolutely. So you can I will leave links so that if you just your soul, do you want to book a session? You can book a session with me just to chat. I don't charge for those, I promise. Any initial sessions I do not charge for. It's just to go through what it is that you may want or to discover more about the services. So I'll leave a link for that. And then other than that, you can DM me on LinkedIn. And if you're stuck, disconnected, exhausted, just know that you're not broken. It's really your soul just calling you to remember who you really are. And when you're ready to listen, I'm here to help.
Yep. And I think that goes along with mindset and probably healthy things, creating those boundaries, because we've got enough people out there making us feel like we're broken or there's something wrong, and there's really not. It's just a different perception and they don't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what is your special, what is, out of all of, you have a number of modalities, a number of things you can do. What is your favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. I think my favorite is really being able to mentor people through how they can use their gifts and helping them to discover, what they're really truly passionate about. That is my favorite thing.
Great. I love it, because I think people need more of that. We definitely need more of that.
Yeah. It's just so gratifying, and I love seeing it light people up.
Yeah. We have a couple minutes. Do you want to tell us about maybe one of your, I don't know, craziest or memorable people that you've had on your podcast?
Let's see. Yeah, actually. So I met with the priest that watches over the Annabelle doll, and he does the blessings for the Ed and Lorraine Warren Museum and all of the artifacts within it.
Oh, wow.
So his name is Father Bailey. And it was just amazing, some of the stories that he had to share on that podcast episode. So I would encourage you guys to go ahead and watch that, because he'll talk about Ed and Lorraine Warren. He talks about Annabelle and the funny things that have happened around her and the artifacts in the museum. Like, there's a really incredible artifact in that museum that is more dangerous than the Annabelle doll, but isn't well known. And it was really interesting to learn about that.
Wow. I'll have to go. I'll have to go find that and listen. I love listening to podcasts and stuff when I do different things. So I love having all the unique stories and histories or whatever that things goes on, because there's so much stuff out there, right? There's so much
Yeah.
stuff out there we can learn.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And just keep an open mind when you're learning some of this stuff, because there's people out there who believe that they've learned everything that there is to know and they are a master at a specific subject. I guarantee you don't know everything there is to know about it. So don't be afraid to dig in and be wrong.
Exactly, because that is impossible. There is just way too much out there.
Yes, infinite amounts of knowledge available.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you, Sabrina, for coming on and sharing with us today. I think it's incredible. I love your journey, and I am so glad that you are cancer free. So,
Thank you. That means a lot. And it's really been a pleasure to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would say you definitely need to keep up the good work. And I love that. I love your energy and the way that, we need more people like that. We need more energy like that out in the world. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So for all you ladies and everybody out there, because you work predominantly with women, correct? Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So all the ladies that are watching, if any of that resonates with you, you can see Sabrina is so easy to talk to and not judgmental. She loves it. Help her find her tribe even more. Keep growing. Yep. Absolutely. Keep growing. Keep doing the work you're doing, but reach out and connect with Sabrina. So I want to wish everybody a wonderful Monday, and I hope you have a beautiful week. And I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, because if you're here in the U.S., then we just got done with Thanksgiving. So anyway, have a wonderful week, and we will catch you guys all next time.
Bye.